on Sunday. If they hope to keep their winning streak alive, New Orleans will have to do it without a key piece of their offensive line. According to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, New Orleans expected to be without left tackle Teron Armstead for 3 to 4 weeks after suffering a pectoral injury suffered in last week's win over the Bengals. There was Rat Sheets tweet. 49ers quarterback Nick Mullins can take comfort in knowing he'll still be under center with the ones when the team returns to practice after the bye week. Head coach Kyle Shanahan declaring so himself, saying Mullins is, quote, our starter until I say differently. Mullins didn't have quite the performance he had against the Raiders on Monday night. He was 27 of 39 for 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and a passer rating of 73.7. The Falcons defense getting a boost with the return of Pro Bowl linebacker Deion Jones. The team placing him on the 53-man active, but head coach Dan Quinn plans to ease him in. Quinn says they'll take it step by step and put him out there when he's 100% ready. Vikings wide receiver Stephon Diggs telling NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport he knows he'll play against the Bears on Sunday night. A rib injury forcing him to miss the Week 9 game against the Lions and got a little more rest during the team's bye week. Diggs participating in practice on Monday. If you don't follow Kirk Cousins on Twitter, man, you're making a big mistake. That's because you are missing gems like this. He tweeted out, 7 degrees this morning. My wife's coping mechanism is Christmas lights, Christmas music, and Christmas decor. It's a bit early, but I'm okay with it. Thoughts? My thought? Too soon, Kirk. Way too soon. Wait until Friday after Thanksgiving. Let's enjoy the turkey, and then we can start putting up the Christmas lights. All right, my time is over, but it's now time for Schrager's One to Watch.
Let's highlight an assistant coach and a front office executive who might be getting the next big gigs. Let's talk about the coaches. Let's talk about Steve Wilks, the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers. And now let's go to the front office. And Brian Gain, the vice president of player personnel, is a guy to watch. Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy there in KC. Say, who's this guy? That's Frank Reich, the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's go to Schrager's Ones to Watch. The many wardrobes of Peter Schrager, the many studios of Good Morning Football. We are here now, and this is the time of year where the next head coach, the next general manager is what everyone wants to talk about for the teams that might be getting rid of their current ones. We like to highlight those future head coaches and the future GMs in a segment we call Ones to Watch. For our first choice, let's go to the coaching ranks. I'm going to give you a name that you are familiar with, but you probably haven't heard in a while because he is a former head coach. His name is Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris was once the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, hired at the age of 33 years old. He was Mike Tomlin's protege. He was supposed to be the guy to fill in for Gruden and take the Bucs to new heights. He was the Sean McVay before Sean McVay, a 33-year-old head coach. Well, didn't work out in Tampa, gets fired, goes to the Redskins as their defensive backs coach, then comes to Atlanta after that and goes from defensive coach his whole career to the wide receivers coach in Atlanta. And now he's the assistant head coach and the passing game coordinator. He's the guy who coaches Julio, coaches Ridley, coaches Sanu, gets Matt Ryan's passing game going. Obviously, we know Dan Quinn's the head coach, defensive guy. Sark is the offensive coordinator. Raheem Morris is the hype guy in Atlanta and the one who works with Julio, Sanu, and the rest of them. This is a great story to come all full circle here. Might have been hired too young. They did have a 10-win season with Tampa under Raheem Morris, which is nothing that they've done since then. But there were guys on that team like Aqib Talib and LeGarrette Blount and Michael Bennett that the team got rid of and moved on from. He bared the brunt. He got fired from Tampa, but it has been many years. He went to Washington and now Atlanta. He is a hot name right now because the Falcons coaching staff and the Falcons players swear by him, and he's still just about 40 years old. So Raheem Morris, an incredible story. He might be a guy who's going to get interviews this time around. GMs, let's go to Indianapolis, where we know Chris Ballard's the star, but his number 2 is the assistant GM, a guy named Ed Dodds. Ed Dodds was with Seattle for many, many years, and when Ballard took the job in Indianapolis, it wasn't like he came alone. He went and recruited the best scouts that he met on the road all his years in Kansas City and Chicago. I think this is cool. They had never really worked together, but he said, there's a guy up in Seattle who I'm on all these road trips with. I'm at the Senior Bowl, and I really respect the heck of what he does. It's Ed Dodds. And you look at this draft class, Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard. You look at some of these free agents they brought in. Obviously, Eric Ebron's having a big year, but even the off-the-radar guys, the Mo Alley Coxes, all these guys, This is what Indianapolis is building. From the inside out, Chris Ballard's going to get all the accolades and all the bouquets. He's got a really good staff under him. Ed Dodds is the number 2 there. He will get interviews for GM jobs this coming January. So, Raheem Morris, Ed Dodds, they are your ones to watch for Week 11.
Ed Dodds. I didn't realize Raheem Morris was 33 when he got that gig.
It's incredible.
We're both thinking the same thing. Raheem Morris.
And that burned bright for me. I remember his whole thing was, we're youngry. Young and hungry. We're younger. That was his buzzword. And it kind of didn't work out. But it's a 10-win season.
Yeah, the Josh Freeman Bucks. And here's the thing with Raheem.
Yeah.
He was a popular guy in the locker room.
Players loved him.
Players coach,
And I think the feeling was players loved him too much. And he's too young for that. He's now an older guy. I think he's a guy who could be a head coach in this league.
What were you